So today we're going to talk about if you are getting ghosted, if you're having no shows, why that is your fault, but better yet, what you can do to fix that. So my name is Colleen Tatum. I help people be empowered around all things money, and I help agents, new and seasoned, earn more money and own their legacy business. So let's get into it. If you are booking appointments with people, it's going to depend, first of all, how you're booking the appointment. So are they reaching out to you or are you reaching out to them? We're going to address that. And we're going to address some key languages and how you can fix that, what your mindset shift needs to be, and how you can make it stack the deck so that you have less and less people no show for your appointments. So if you have reached out to them to book the appointment, a lot of times we're reaching out in our insurance business, or if you have a different kind of business where you meet with clients, we're reaching out to them, especially in the beginning, we're reaching out to book those appointments. And if you're listening to this and you're saying, book with me, heck, I have to do all the reaching out. I want you to know that you can build a business where people are reaching out to you as well. And we'll talk about that a little bit. But if you're reaching out to them, meaning you've called them, you've messaged them to book an appointment on your calendar to show them what you do. Even if you have nothing going on in your business, you have to create some sense of urgency, some sense of disparity of your time, and you've got to use the right language. So what do I mean by sense of urgency? If you're reaching out to them, the urgency is sometimes hard to create because it wasn't something that they were wanting to do. They didn't reach out to you because they had a problem that they need you to solve. But that urgency needs to be there. So the language that you're using when you're booking that appointment, we need to think about what that is. So oftentimes when I have a new agent starting out, we're doing a launch event for them. We're doing like a grand opening. That in itself creates urgency because when do you do a grand opening? You do it once, right? You do that big launch one time. So this is an urgent push to get that appointment or that person in front of what you do. So that can help if you're using that kind of language, that kind of script that, hey, I'm having a grand opening launch. I'm trying to get as many people to see this as possible. Are you able to come? Are you able to help me out? Also, training appointments. If you're new, you're not a seasoned person in the business yet, it is a golden moment for you to leverage that time frame, that you being new, as much as possible. Oftentimes people think that they need to appear like the expert. I will tell you, especially if you're going to your warm market, this is the time where you want to actually leverage that you're new. You want to create that urgency by saying things like, hey, I'm in the training phase. I need to complete a certain number of training appointments within a certain period of time. Are you open? Are you willing? Do I have enough credibility with you that you would be willing to be one of my field training appointments? My goal is to show you what I'm doing, get your honest feedback, and hey, if you like it, my hope is that maybe you would refer me to some other people. Are you open to doing it? That kind of script, if you're new, can create a sense of urgency to where it doesn't make sense for them to say, yeah, I'd love to help you out, but I'm going to do it in 3 months because things are really busy. You could say, hey, I'm having this launch event this week. It's really important to me. Are you able to come? Hey, I need to complete my training appointments as fast as possible. Are you able to do that? So thinking about that sense of urgency, always having that energy when you're speaking to them to also convey urgency. I don't mean that you need to call them up and be like super crazy enthused. This is the woo! I'm not suggesting that you do that, but I am suggesting that you bring the energy, that you sound excited to meet them, that what you're sharing is exciting, is important, is something that you really want to show them, that you're looking forward to that meeting versus, hey, brr, 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 brr. That is going to subconsciously erode them thinking that this is an important event for you, that this is an important meeting for them to keep. No big deal if they cancel, because it's not urgent. Number 2 is a sense of disparity. So your time is important. So even if you have nothing going on in your business, your time is still important. So oftentimes I'll see people say language like, yeah, I can meet anytime. My schedule's pretty open. Let me know what's good for you. All of that is telling the person that your time is not valuable and that you're just not really that successful. And while you may not be successful yet, your time is still important. What we do, we're the ones, especially because we're in financial services, we help people save money, save taxes, get ahead. That is something so important. You have the tools, you have the solutions. So your time in that appointment, what you're going to offer them is so freaking valuable. Do not ever discount what you do. But in addition, your time is the one resource that we cannot replace. We can always get more money. We can always, gain weight, lose weight. We can always get another material thing, but we can't get our time back. And so if you are going to be booking appointments, you don't want it to seem like you've got all the time in the world. Like, oh, whatever, book, cancel on me because it doesn't matter. I don't got anything going on. I would rather you be spending that time with your family than spending it waiting for someone to not show up for an appointment. So the language that you use in that regard when you're setting up the appointment is really important. I can't stress it enough. So you need to say things like, yes, I can fit you in. I've got some space Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning, which is best for you? Yes, sure, I'd love to do that. I could see if I can possibly help you. I've got some time. I can probably make it work Saturday afternoon or Monday evening, which is better for you. See the language I'm using? I'm creating value in my time in the words that I'm using versus, yeah, sure, I'd love to help you out with that. You let me know what's good for you. You are going to hit a brick wall if you're saying things like that. You're telling them that your time is not important. And also, people's minds are busy. So if you say to them, yeah, let me know what's good for you, they will often get met with they won't move forward. You need to give people two options that they can pick from. If those two options don't work, they will usually say, oh, I can't do either of those, but Thursdays are good for me. They'll start telling you what's good for them. But if you say, let me know what's good for you, their mind kind of freezes up because it's just too many choices at once. And they're starting to think about the dog and the dentist appointment and the basketball they have to take their kids to, and it's just too much for their mind, and it's it goes into buffering freezing zone. So you got to give them those two options, and you got to make it seem like you're busy, because even if it's not busy in your business, I'm sure that you're busy in your life, right? I'm sure that you're busy in your life. And so value your time. When you're doing that, it will help you get more people to show up for their appointment, because you're already setting the stage that what you do is valuable and that you value and respect your own time, and that you expect the same from them. That you're not just here for them to cancel and not show up and you'll just, oh, no problem. I'll come to, let's rebook the meeting. No worries. You never showed up for me 4 times. You're already setting the stage for part 2 of the solution to people not showing up for you. Now, if people are raising their hand to you to book the appointment, you can add in some extra layers, because you can ask them, hey, people will message me and they'll say, hey, I really need to sit down with you. And I'll say, hey, for sure, I'd love to help you out. What is it that you're most concerned about? What is it that you're most wanting to talk about? What is the big goal that you want to cover in that meeting? Because they raise their hand for an appointment with me. So I have an opportunity to find a little bit more information out. It's called a CTA delay. If you're not sure what that is, I do have some other videos on that. I would be happy to send that over if you comment below. I'm happy to send you a detailed video on what a CTA is. But if someone's raising their hand for you, like, hey, I want an appointment with you, Colleen, it's an opportunity for me to get a little bit more information for them so I could come to that meeting more prepared. But also, if I'm finding out that like, oh, I really need to meet with you because my actually it really freaked me out. I saw my coworker randomly got sick and like they're in a coma and it got me freaked out. I'm like, I really need to get my life insurance taken care of. I can use that to my advantage when I'm confirming their appointment. I can remind them of the urgency, the reason why they told me they needed to meet with me. I can remind them of that later on if I need to, or to pump them up about coming to the appointment, because that is now helpful for me to help make sure that they stick to that appointment time. Meaning, let's say that person said that thing to me, hey, oh my goodness, my coworker, they randomly got in a coma, and it just reminded me that I really need to get my stuff taken care of. Now, the appointment time is coming and they try and blow me off. I can remind them of what they told me. Hey, I know you're super busy. I know it's a busy time for you, but when you said you wanted to meet, you really sounded stressed out about what you saw happen to your coworker. It's not going to take long for us to meet. I probably just need like about 20 minutes from you to get started. Is it possible that we make this work? Is it possible we keep this meeting? And you're reminding them of why they care to book that appointment, because maybe a week has gone by, maybe a couple of days has gone by since they booked that appointment with you, and their comfort levels back in, right? We see things happen in our lives, they freak us out, we try and take action, and then our life gets busy, our dog gets sick, our kids are crying in the background. We're like, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna reschedule this appointment. I don't feel like doing it tonight. And then 3 years goes by and they've never cleaned up their stuff. So you've got to be an advocate for them in that moment to make sure that they get their stuff done, because what we do is really, really important. Okay, so now you've booked the appointment. How you confirm it is going to make the deal work or not. This is how you make your appointment stick. You are going to use positive confirming language. You're expecting them to show up at this appointment. So what I often see agents do is they'll send a message saying, hey, are you still good to meet tonight? Hey, are you still good to meet tomorrow? When you say it that way, you are setting the stage for them to say what? Nope. No, I'm really tired. No, my kids are sick. No, oh my goodness, I forgot about it. Can I reschedule? You're setting the stage. You're making it so easy for them to say no when you say it that way. When you say, think about it. If someone sent you that message, hey, are you still good to go for tomorrow? You're like, no, actually, I'm not. Can we reschedule? Versus this is how you fix it, okay? Hey, I'm so looking forward to meeting you and Joe tomorrow. Can I just confirm that you've got my Zoom link? I'm assuming they're coming. They booked a meeting with me. Why would I assume that it's not still good? They made a commitment to me. They made a commitment to show up for that appointment. So I'm assuming that they're going to honor that commitment. But I'm ending it with a question that they need to respond to. Like, hey, do you still have my Zoom link? Hey, do you guys still live at the same address? Hey, I'll be phoning you at that time. Is this the best number to call you at? Depending on how you do your appointments. Because I need an answer back from them. That is them confirming their appointment. They'll say, yep, I got it. Or they'll say, no, where is it? Or, oh, I can't find it, or whatever it is. That is them confirming. I don't actually need to send a message saying, hi, it's Colleen. I'm just confirming our appointment for tomorrow, which psychologically is setting them up to say, oh, I need to move it. But if they get a message, hey, I'm so looking forward to meeting you and Joe tomorrow night. Hey, just wondering, do you have my Zoom link still? They always answer yes or no, where can I find it? It's very rare that someone, if I've done the right way of setting the appointment, I've created the urgency, created a sense of, disparity around my time, I've used the right language, like I can fit you in, I could possibly help. It's very rare that when I use that confirming technique that someone cancels the appointment. It's very rare. Those things will help you for sure. and I want to talk, I added the person's name. Hey, I'm looking forward to meeting you and Joe. I do that because if they have a spouse, I'm reconfirming that I need both of you there. I need both of you there. So I'm using that language throughout while I'm setting my appointment and also while I'm confirming the appointment. Now they may send a message back saying, oh, Joe's not going to be there. And I'll say, okay, can I ask, do you and Joe make your financial decisions together? And then they'll tell me, yes. I'll be like, great. It's best if we can actually reschedule because it's really important that they're there. I want to respect your time. Or they'll say, no, actually, we do everything separate. I'm like, cool, good to go. There is people that do their money separate. More often than not, though, they will come to the appointment without their spouse. They'll listen to the information, and then they will use their spouse as a reason why not to proceed. Oh, I've got to talk about it. Oh, I've got to show it to my spouse. I've got to ask Joe. So don't waste your time. Again, your time is valuable. Your time is a non-renewable resource. Get that spouse there at that meeting, or at least make sure that they've told you, no, I make my financial decisions. We have our money separate, so that if they bring up that objection later, oh, I've got to check with my spouse, you can say, oh, I thought when we booked the meeting, you said that you made your financial decisions separately. I'm going to call them out on it. So to recap, when we're booking the appointment, we're using specific language, we're creating a sense of urgency, a sense of value around our time so that we're getting that person to book that meeting. If that person has raised their hand to book with me versus me reaching out to them, I can use that as an opportunity to gather more information of why they need that appointment. And I can use that information to remind them of why it's important for them to keep that appointment later on. And then when I'm confirming the appointment, I'm assuming they're showing up and I'm asking them a question that they will need to respond to, like, do you still have the Zoom link? That then acts as a confirmation for the appointment. Now, if you've done all that and they don't respond, now you know they're not showing up for the appointment. And what you need to do is fill that slot. Don't be showing up for appointments on Zoom or on a call or driving to people's houses and they're not going to be there. Use that time to rebook someone else that does want to meet with you and put the person that just didn't confirm, put them on a follow-up list. What I'll often do is later on, I'll say, I'll send them an update. I'll send them a newsletter. I'll send them something to keep them in my mind, because does stuff happen? Yes. Maybe that person didn't answer because their dog did get sick. Maybe that person didn't answer because some catastrophe happened in their life. That it happens, right? Don't always assume that someone isn't showing up because they no longer need or want to talk to you. Don't take it personally. Too often people crumple up in a ball after someone no-shows or someone doesn't respond and they think, oh, it's me. They don't want to talk to me. They're not interested. Just people are busy. People have stuff that happens in their lives. And sometimes they just miss your message or forget about it or something happens. And so if you're following these steps, you will very much reduce the number of people that do not show up for an appointment. I guarantee you will reduce it drastically just with those few tweaks. But then when they don't show up, if they don't respond to your message, now you know not to show up. You know to use that time to book another appointment, to take your kid out for ice cream, whatever it is that you need to do that first versus showing up for an appointment and getting ghosted, because that sucks. So I hope that was helpful. Now, if you were watching and you said, how do I get people to book on my calendar? That sounds phenomenal, which it is. I have built up over the last few years where people do organically reach out and book meetings on my calendar. It is very rare that I reach out and book an appointment. I have a great system that I've built out where people book appointments with me, and I usually have 3, 4, 5, 6 appointments a day that people have booked with me. I've done that by building out my three-legged stool, the attraction piece of my three-legged stool. And so if you're wondering what that is, I do have training videos specific to that. So you could comment below, send me a message, and I would be happy to send you a link to that video of how you can get your attraction machine going so that people reach out to you, people book meetings with you without you having to reach out to them. But whether they reach out to you or will you reach out to them, managing the appointment setup and the appointment confirmation properly is so important. That does not change. And you've got to respect your time. You've got to use these techniques so that you can eliminate as many no-shows as possible. So hopefully that was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'd love to hear your comments, questions. Let me know if this was valuable to you or not. Let me know if you thought it was total crud. I'm cool. I'd love to hear about it. Love to hear your experiences, but regardless, keep rising through, and I hope you have a great day.